I remember coming home one day from school and the house smelled gross. And I'd walked into the kitchen and there was a lot of burnt chocolate chip cookies everywhere. And my dad was teasing my sister, making fun of her for burning all the cookies. And she was angry. And adding to her anger and being a little sister that I am, I told her that I can make chocolate chip cookies better. So I did. And it ended up that I can make a pretty darn good chocolate chip cookie. And my parents still tease her about that till this day. So the next day, my mom had brought me to my grandma's house, and there was a language barrier between us. I spoke English, she spoke Arabic, and we could barely talk. So I show up with this big Tupperware of cookies for her, and I had no way of telling her that I made these cookies and I brought them for you. So I kind of just placed them on her lap, hoping that she'd understand what I was trying to say. And it seemed like it worked because she took one out, she took a bite, seemed to like it, and I remember being really happy. So then, when my mom was ready to leave, my grandma had asked her if I could stay back and make cookies with her. So I told my mom the recipe, and my mom wrote it down on paper in Arabic, and then went to the kitchen. And my grandma sat on one side of the table, I sat on the other side of the table, and we both followed the recipe together. I made my batch of cookies, and she made hers. And then we take our cookies out of the oven. And mine turned out the way they looked the night before, these small chocolate chip cookies, gooey, chewy, delicious. And my grandma took hers out, and they were these hockey puck sized bun looking things that looked nothing like a cookie. They were thick and hearty and heavy, and I guess everything that a grandma's cooking has in it. So I remember we just looked at each other and laughed because how had we both followed the same recipe together but had such different cookies and outcomes? And even though we couldn't understand what had happened, we laughed and laughed. And my grandma immediately threw away her batch of cookies because she refused to let anyone know that she could not make a chocolate chip cookie. And she offered everyone my cookies that day, and made me feel like $1,000,000. That's one of the last memories I have with my grandma. We didn't get to spend a lot of personal time together because of our language barrier, so that really sticks with me. Until this day, my family always asks me to make the chocolate chip cookies that, had won everyone's heart over and made my sister really angry. And I always make it for them. It's something I enjoy doing. The process is always fun. It always reminds me of the memory I have with my grandma, but I never do eat the chocolate chip cookies. They don't taste the same anymore. As much as I do them to make everyone happy, they're no longer the cookies that I made with my grandma that day. They're just, I do it for everyone else, not for me.